Hello and welcome. It's Victor Danders, the hardest working man in comics, coming to you with some pre-content for Black, White, and Red all over. Joining us today, we have Mike Tenner. Am I saying that correctly?
Tenner, but close enough.
Oh, man, I was practicing. I thought I had it. Mike, welcome. We are going to chat up about a special project that you have on Kickstarter right now. But before we do, tell people about you. Who are you and where are you from?
Great. I have been involved in comics for about 5 or 6 years now, so I'll start there.
Okay.
It's my first time really working in a creative space, I think, where I've had to collaborate with other writers from all over the world.
Oh my God.
That's always been really exciting, just trying to keep up with all the time zones and
right.
and
oh my God, that's got to be murder. Trying to be like, okay, I can talk to you between the hours of. Wait, that's what time for you? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So 6 years of that, before that, I played in a band for years and years and years. Played rock music and stuff.
So you're all about creativity. That's the
yeah. My fiance is a dancer / painter / sculptor, so she's.
I'm gonna hang out with you guys.
She covers the bases where I can't. Yeah,
yes.
We kind of do our own things, but I've been doing that for a while. And then before music, I was playing sports. So ask me how I went from sports to playing music. I'm not sure, but
you're just well-rounded, man.
I'm just a well-rounded American boy, I guess. That's it.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so before we get into Midnight Highway, what other works would people know you from?
Well, I can assume that people have read Black Jackets, which is a series that I made before, and currently producing Midnight Highway #2, which is what's on Kickstarter right now. Those two series primarily is what people would know me for.
Awesome. If you guys don't have that, do yourself a favor and get that. We will tell you how later, but we're going to jump right into Midnight Highway. Okay, so we're talking issue 2 here. You're on Kickstarter. Did you do the first one on Kickstarter?
We did.
What was the success rate of that one? What were you aiming for in that?
We, success rate in terms of the goal, we set the goal lower than the actual production cost because we just wanted to make sure that we covered the printing and shipping costs.
Smart
so
guys.
We ate the cost of the book, but we made up for it because it overfunded by quite a bit. So
nice.
We didn't expect it to, but it did. So we hit the 6,000 mark, which was great. So we made that the budget this time around.
Okay.
And we're funded now. We got funded in the first week actually for issue 2. So
congratulations.
That was actually pretty awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now I guess the rest of the money's just going to go to, probably making a pool in the backyard. And
yes,
we'll see what happens next.
It won't have any water in it, but there'll be the pool there. It'll just be, a space. You might be able to skate in there or host some concerts. Okay, so when it comes to Midnight Highway, the theme here, we're talking 80s, 90s horror. Is that your jam? Is that something that you grew up with? I mean, you don't look old enough to know 80s horror. So
wow.
Is that
that's a nice compliment. I'm 37.
Well,
I'm 37.
Okay, all right.
So you're not wrong. I mean, like
right.
I was 5, 6 years old in the 80s.
No, that's the prime spot, man.
Yeah. But at 5 years old, I was watching quite a bit of horror, involuntarily sometimes because my much older sister was watching that stuff and had friends come over. So I'd sneak around the corner and I would watch, whatever they were watching. So I got to see a lot of horrific stuff. As a kid, and I guess it became desensitized to it. But yes, I'm a huge 80s horror fan, and science fiction actually was a really great era for science fiction as well.
Absolutely.
And those were the major influences of Midnight Highway for sure.
I love it. Okay, so issue 1, if you could recap without spoiling, because we still want people to read it, what were we looking for in issue 1?
Good question. It is an homage to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay, say less. So, I'm already there. Let's go. I love that movie.
It's an amazing movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So the co-creator on this book, Alex Madej, who couldn't be with us tonight, we agreed early on that John Carpenter was going to be a huge influence for the series, and so we started off paying an homage to him in issue 1. And really what the story is just this kid that ends up on this supernatural highway. It's not really explained as to how he got there. He just ended up there, and much like Alice in Wonderland, he is wandering through this otherworldly landscape, just trying to navigate through it and get to the end of it. Hopefully that takes him back home. So he has to suffer through all these crazy supernatural calamities and instances and creatures and all this stuff just to hopefully come out the other side alive.
I absolutely love it. What does that first issue clock at for page count?
Short, 21 pages.
No, that ain't short. That's a good story. That's good. that's
we wanted it to whip along. We wanted it
to
whip along, and we wanted to let the artwork tell the story. So that I think we successfully did that. And in issue 2, it is actually 34 pages long, so it's quite a lot.
See, yeah,
quite a lot longer.
It's a nice little stretch out. Now, are each issues, are they standalones, or is it truly a serialized, cohesive piece?
It is serialized and cohesive in the fact that we have a main character that we're following through the Midnight Highway, but each instance, every issue deals with something different.
That's awesome.
So it's a different setting, I guess you could say. You know, like in issue 2, it takes place in a haunted arcade. So, and then that's not all that happens in the book. That's just what that's the part we're marketing, but there's actually, that's like 33% of the book.
Okay.
The rest of it's just under wraps, which we did the same thing with issue 1. We didn't show the monster at all in issue 1.
Right.
So no one knew what to expect. All they did was see some of the first like early pages, and it was just really good color work. So people were intrigued by just the art.
I love it.
No one saw the monster or anything at all. We wanted to keep that as a surprise for that issue. So we're doing something similar in issue 2.
No. The tease is perfect. I absolutely adore that. Now, for my own personal like reasons, I got to know who did y'all's video, because that is stellar on this campaign. Like, it is really like top notch. Who did that?
So his name is Jared Matthew Daw. He's from Prevalent Mind Studios, and he specializes in animation. And has started to dive more into like CG and things of that nature. He's making his own anime.
I love it.
He stays busy.
Yeah.
So he's done project videos for me for quite a while. This would be his 4th project video.
That's amazing.
The video for the first campaign for Midnight Highway was great too. So
yes.
Thank you for calling that out.
No, absolutely. No, shout out to Jared on that one. I need you to introduce us, because that was so amazing that I was like, I want to know who did that, and I want to be friends with them too. Like, this is, you guys have obviously put together a great team. What was it like to try to build that functionally to tell this story?
That was quite a process, because Midnight Highway as a concept had been long in gestation. Like, we had been thinking about it for years and talked a lot about different avenues we could explore with it. But we knew that the art team was going to be essential. And so we were very careful in who we chose for each role. We chose our artist, Alexander Malishev, just because he had also a passion for 80s monsters. Like, that was like one of his big things. He just loved all the creature effects from the 80s. And so that's what drew him into the project, because he knew he was going to get to do a hefty amount of that. And we really enjoyed his line work, and he jumped right on board, and he whips out pages so quickly. So it was no doubt in our mind that if we were ever to join a publication or a publisher, that he would be able to produce art at a quick rate, so we could keep up with, like, you know, a monthly or quarterly release with him. And I can't imagine anyone else doing the artwork now that I've seen and gotten accustomed to his style.
That's the greatest compliment ever. I love that.
Yeah. I can't substitute him. I can't quit him. and then the colorist was definitely another essential component, because we thought one of the most ways to evoke the feeling of 80s nostalgia was to bring in those bright colors, the extreme colors, red leafed trees, purple grass, like that was, we needed those kinds of really saturated, hyper intense colors.
Of course.
And so Hedwin Zaldivar was our choice for that, because we'd seen a lot of his work before, and we knew that he was the perfect choice. So we went with him, and he's brought in so much life to the book.
Yes. If the 80s were a palette, like, he definitely has tapped into that, and it's fantastic. I totally dig what I was seeing. Your preview setup is perfect. When it comes to Kickstarter, is this a platform that you really are comfortable with? Are you still trying to figure some things out? Or is this, the future of what comic making is going to be for you?
It's a great question. I'm on my 8th campaign on Kickstarter. Okay. Although they've all funded, I still feel like I'm missing something, or I'm learning. Like, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
There's lots of successes to be had there, but I'm still learning, hey, what could I have done to make that campaign better? But yeah, I'm familiar with Kickstarter for sure, and I enjoy the platform. I like being able to have this direct line of communication with people that invest in your project. Right, they're people that absolutely like what you're doing. That's one reason they're giving you money to make it. Right, so it's definitely feeds your ego. Like, you know, like it really does. So I guess for that reason, it's very gratifying and validating, and so I think I'm always tied to the platform for that reason. But I also do think it is essential for comic creating because comics are expensive, and so being able to crowdsource the money to make the book is a pretty important element for a lot of creators, I think, to continue telling stories. So for that reason, I think it's very viable, very, very much essential to comic creating.
Respect. Is there, because obviously there's going to be somebody that's listening that wants to do a Kickstarter of their own. If you have like a top 3 things that you could tell them before your first Kickstarter, what would you tell them?
Have a plan of when you're going to launch, and make sure you hype up the launch before you actually launch. So, you know, build a campaign, create some groundwork, have a network of creators that will support you to get the word out, because you're not going to know anybody if you're, you know, really young in the game, and you're building that outreach. So I think that's that. I would say that, and then make sure that your art is good. A lot of times people will try to just, you know, pick up the cheapest artist, the most affordable, or the most available. There's probably a reason for both of those. Like, there's a reason why they're available. There's a reason why they're inexpensive. This I sound like a dick saying it, but
no, it's true.
It is true. And I mean, like, if you believe in what you're doing, you really need to put your money where your mouth is, and you really need to show people that this is a next level project. So make sure that you have really impressive art, and that you showcase that, even if some of that might be spoilers. You know, early on in your career, you know, show people the goods. You know, this might be your only chance to get the money that you need. So
you only get one shot, y'all.
Yes, you do.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So show them the good stuff.
Okay, that's perfect. Have a plan, invest in yourself, and take every chance you got, y'all. That's key right there. You already heard. Set a nice goal, and is the campaign still going on right now? Right.
It is, yeah.
When is it in? How long do we have?
We have 18 days.
18 days. Okay, come on, y'all.
17 days.
17. No, we'll say 15. We'll put y'all under the gun. Make sure y'all support this campaign, because it sounds amazing. It looks amazing. I can't wait to read it. I definitely am going to blast it on my, you know, social stuff. I have a campaign going on as well. I'm definitely sharing yours because it looks fantastic. So we're gonna cohabitate. It's gonna be fantastic.
Let's do that.
We're gonna make that part of the network. Anything else that we can share with our viewers? Where can we find you on social?
So I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a boomer, I guess, in that regard. So that's like my favorite platform, and I don't know why.
Nothing wrong with that.
Instagram, I'm on there. Mike Makes Comics is my tag on there.
Nice.
And then I just joined Twitter.
Okay.
And I'm figuring that one out right now.
No. Hey, listen, we can work together
start on TikTok too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, now we're about to be best friends, Mike, because these are things that I'm learning to do. Apparently, like, all of comics is really active on Twitter, and I'm like, since when? Like, when did that happen? But
I joined Twitter, and then, like, all the guys that I knew from Facebook were adding me on Twitter. I'm like, where have you? I didn't even know you were on here. Like, I've had the account forever, but I've just not posted anything on it.
Exactly. Well, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. I am super excited about this project. Midnight Highway, you guys heard it. You've got a few days, 2 weeks plus, but don't wait. Jump on it now. You don't lose the funds right away. It's wait till after the campaign ends before they take the money. So pledge. Find the tier that works best for you. And if you can't pledge, share it. Share it to anyone and everyone that you know would love this amazing 80s horror feature inspired comic series. It's fantastic. Is this going to be an ongoing?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the magic sauce that I like to hear. Okay, so there's more goodness to come, y'all. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics for Black, White, and Red all over, saying thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get to the show. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
I'm Ryan Seymour, king of Comic Town here in Columbus, Ohio.
Woo-hoo! Now, this week is a very interesting week book-wise because Diamond.
Yeah, so like apparently a truck somewhere connected with this week's shipment was 6 hours late to doing something.
Yeah.
So this show, based on what we should have had to be able to read, it's like that Tenacious D song tribute.
Yes.
Like this would have been
Greatest
the best
week.
ever, and this is just a tribute to it.
Yeah, it's a tribute to it. However, luckily, we did have some good amounts of books.
Yes.
But it's almost all DC books.
Right, yeah.
Except for a few smatterings of some smaller press books that slipped in there.
Yeah. Thanks, Lunar.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an interesting question because news has come out about Diamond and its effect on the industry.
Yes.
There's a word that's being thrown around, discount freeze. From a retailer's point of view, what does that mean, and how does that affect readers?
I don't know.
Oh my God!
Like,
okay,
because it has been changed a couple times with us, where Diamond has been like, okay, for Marvel, this is what it's going to be, and this is how shipping is going to work,
right?
And then retailers were like, but that doesn't make any sense. Then Diamond's like, well, how about this part? Okay, that part now makes sense.
Okay,
but this other part. So I don't know. It's weird. I want Diamond to succeed. I want Diamond to be around. I've been a customer of theirs for over 20 years.
Yeah.
But some of their decisions really kind of make me lean towards Penguin Random House because we have the option to go with Penguin Random House or Diamond for Marvel, and Marvel is our is our king.
Yeah,
it just is. So that's a weird one, and it's frustrating. A lot of other stores are kind of facing that same sort of question of we're not going to have the same discount that we once had.
Right. So
do we want Diamond, because losing all of Marvel's
that's a no.
Yeah.
Like that's
So it's a really, really weird time in trying to make those decisions. I know the Excel spreadsheet is never wrong because numbers are numbers. So we're trying to make those decisions, and then seeing stuff like the announcement that Scott Snyder had yesterday.
Yes.
Where it is awesome. Like those creative teams and those concepts for those books are crazy
Amazing.
But they're digital first.
Right.
And the I got gray, like my entire lower part of my beard is gray. So I'm just like, what does that mean for the future?
Yes. That's got to be something that we as creatives also consider and think about, especially as we're moving to platforms like Kickstarter and things like that. How do we make sure that this beautiful industry of the direct retail market we maintain and keep safe, or at least help to evolve to its next stage, whatever that's going to be? We got to help do that,
because it could be something totally different.
Exactly.
Like it's been this for years, since the 70s. So maybe it's time that there's a new form. We just need to figure out what it is.
And let's work together, guys. Together, cohesiveness. Speaking of Scott, that announcement is crazy.
Right?
8 titles. Okay, so deal with Comixology, Dark Horse.
Yep.
We're talking some of the biggest names in comics creatively. This is huge. The only thing that I was waiting for as an attachment to this is a statement that every single one of these titles has already been optioned for a film or television series. That's the only thing that I'm waiting to hear, right? Like,
because they've got to be, right?
Yeah.
Like those creative teams and those concepts.
Come on.
There is somebody out there at some network, YouTube TV, Netflix, whatever, they've got to check.
Yeah.
Like it's just, all right, cool, let's just make it happen.
Yeah, just write it, just sign it, and just pass it over and just put some numbers in there. How many zeros do you want? I think that's amazing. And what I'm really appreciative of, and this is such a weird statement, but this is another creator that is making a big industry-wide impact, where Mark Miller did it, Robert Kirkman did it. Yep. Scott doing it now is awesome. I think Bendis kind of did it.
Yeah, he definitely made a splash.
Yeah, but this is again one of those places where if you make a name for yourself, there are bigger things that can happen, and that's the beauty.
Yeah.
It's beyond just a legacy of established Marvel and DC characters. It's some stuff that you can build for yourself, which is fantastic. Standing on the shoulders of giants, and I'm mad proud to watch it happen. And I can't wait to join y'all up in that success rate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Speaking of success, I have to give mad acknowledgement. Thank you to everyone so far that's pledged to the Kickstarter. We still have some days left, like more than 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
But we are more than, or we're nearly 250% funded. We actually have a special sneak peek dropping at 250%. So help us push, get there.
Yeah.
Get it.
It's going to be worth it.
Yes. I think we're like literally less than $30 away from that. So that's a big one. My big crazy goal, this would be the most that I've ever raised on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
If I hit 400% funding, right? I'm going to acknowledge this. I haven't told anybody, but this is happening.
Yeah.
A 4-cover variant spread by Mr. Most Epic Art, Mike Watson himself.
Oh, yes.
It is 4 covers that actually flow together just like the classic Jim Lee X-Men cover.
Oh, wow.
All for Never Too Late #1. I've seen the layout. It is phenomenal. If you back the I get all the covers, you get it no matter what.
Yeah.
The special thing is that only if this unlocks can Joe Schmo buy these covers individually by themselves if that's what you want. So
Get there.
get us there. You can do it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of where we are so far. So speaking of some things that I'm proud of, let's get to some books. Let's talk about it. Okay, so honorable mention wise, we have nothing that's the same.
Yeah, nothing at all.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
And I want to start it off because we are typically extremely positive. Like we love comics. There's tons of good comics every week. This week we just didn't have many choices.
Sure.
And what was weird for me is I gave Batman Reptilian #2, DC Black Label, gave it a shot. It's got a creative team that there's no way it can't be just the most amazing thing.
Shouldn't fail.
Yeah, Garth Ennis, Liam Sharp.
Right.
And it was weird because it felt like it's Batman. He's trying to be a detective and figure out who is just raffle stomping these villains.
That's
and
an official term.
It's a metric raffle stomp.
Yeah.
And like whatever it is, it's like biting them and like ripping chunks out and leaving them for dead, but they're not always dying. And it's got like really cool, like Dave McKean-ish, like Arkham Asylum art. But it's weird because it's almost like it feels like Garth is writing Bruce as if he's Frank Castle. So it has that same sort of tone that Frank did on. Yeah, and it's weird because it's just, it takes me out of it.
Yeah, they're not the same. They're not the same.
Yeah, so it's weird. I mean, it's gorgeous.
It does look beautiful.
The story itself is really awesome. Just the dialogue is so.
Okay, so I gotta poke. I mean, you said it's like a detective story, but it's called Batman Reptilian. So my first instinct is that it's Killer Croc. Am I wrong?
Probably.
Okay. All right.
Probably.
So maybe there is more of a detecting that needs to be done. But yeah, I was like, what do you mean you gotta like figure it out? It's called Reptilian.
Yeah,
there's gotta be Killer Croc.
Yeah,
like, what?
There's no other choice.
All right, so that's my limitation. All right, that's cool. That does suck though. That does suck.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wondered why the numbers dropped a little bit poll-wise from #2 from #1.
Now you see.
Now I see.
Okay, so since you started off with a negative tone, I will maintain the critical eye therein, and I am going to talk about Milestone Returns, Icon and Rocket, Season 1, #1. We have Reginald Hudlin, Doug Braithwaite, Andrew Curry, and Brad Anderson. Again, stellar team, right? Legends in the game, without question. Reggie Hudlin, obviously, filmmaker, so many wonderful things.
His run on Black Panther.
So that is my problem right there. Okay, so I have said before openly, without question, I did not love, in fact, I despise the early run of Milestone. The reason why, the rationale, is because I felt a certain kind of way about the stereotypical view of what is assumed as black comics.
Okay.
I've never liked that. There's always this context of urban identity, characters that act a certain way. It's like you listen to hip-hop music and you're like, oh, that's obviously what would happen in the comic book side of things. And it's not. Like, there's so much more than that. So I was expecting a retooling for the stars here.
Yeah.
With what he did with Black Panther, coming on to Black Panther at a time post Christopher Priest, but still in a space where Black Panther was malleable. I expected that. But instead, he stuck to the roots of some of the things that I feel are the most problematic when it comes to these characters. Rocket as a character, seemingly preyed upon, as a good girl, but, hanging with the wrong crowd for stupid reasons.
why do we have to maintain that? You know, it's been more than 20 years since that was the stereotypical term. And I'd like to think that we think more of black ladies than that, like young ladies, like of all kinds. We think more than just, oh yeah, she'll do what I want to because I'm a guy and I'm no. Yeah. Like this book is 100% absent of the strength of the Me Too movement, and that bothers me. Like sincerely bothers me. Icon, of course, has always been presented as more of a conservative character, and that was supposed to be kind of the hook, the political idea of she's more liberal, he's more conservative. Yeah. Here's my question though. When it comes to being a conservative with these abilities, there comes a point where you being hands-off has got to be more detrimental than not. Yeah. Like there's a piece here as an opener, and I guess I'm going to say it's not a spoiler. Where he lives, the value has dropped because things are either torn down or worn down. That clearly is a detriment to you. If you could have stopped that, why wouldn't you? Yeah. Like, I don't understand that concept. Like, why would he stay in a derelict area unnecessarily? Yeah. It's weird, right? So I did not love this. It reads quickly, which is cool, and the characterization and voice is fine, but those key elements, that foundation, I did not like it. And again, like looking back, I didn't love these things to begin with, so I'm giving them a shot now, hoping that maybe something, but no, this hasn't, like, the closest thing to it is Static that I've enjoyed, and even that has a little bit where I'm like, you're leaning a little bit too much on Ripped from the Headlines for my liking for this. So yeah, this kind of misses the mark for me. Sorry.
Not good.
Yeah.
Something that is good.
All
right. From Scout Comics, Murder Hobo, Chaotic Neutral #2. This is very much 120% an 18+ book as far as like age range. Yeah. It is various archetypal characters that you will run into in D&D. Wow. And if you play D&D long enough. Yeah, that's one way to find out something that's invisible. And yeah, it's like if you watch Critical Role and you listen to their gaming and it's fun and you enjoy it, but you're like, you know what? If only it was raunchier. if only Ryan Reynolds wrote it. This is for you. It's several little vignettes. There's Pixie Dust, which is something that if for a Miami Vice episode, Crockett and Tubbs would not be happy with. Nope. There are beholders that the eye stalks are slightly different. There's like the invisible thing and the orc and the poop. These things are there. Yeah, it's just hysterical. It's bombastic, so over the top. If you play D&D, you'll probably enjoy it.
I love it. Where to go next? Okay, so growing in my enjoyment for this week, Infinite Frontier #3. Still building a lot, right? Like, what I do enjoy about this is that it's not the centralized DC Trinity that we're focusing on. So it's really some very interesting things that we're seeing. We're getting some characters reintroduced. That, you know, if you're a longtime comic book reader, you're like, oh, I haven't seen these guys in forever. Yeah. Awesome sauce. So it's really kind of a fun trip through DC's pantheon of stories. Yeah. I'm really curious as to what exactly the goal is here. It borderline has crisis level implications. Yes. But they're not calling it a crisis. So where is this going?
We don't know. Like that's the problem, is that of all the things that can kind of reset and reposition characters, this is what should do it. But it is so under-publicized that I'm just like, what am I missing?
Yeah. Like the potential stakes of this, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow like Captain America shows up. Like, it's that kind of crazy. Yeah. Right? Like, it's just that level. So I need them to really push, because there's some amazing things that could be happening here right under our noses. Yeah. And it's being very well like written, drawn, the whole nine. Oh wait, I didn't give no love to the creative team. We've got on this one, because it's a whole host of creators. We've got Joshua Williams is the writer. Paul Peltier is doing art. Jesus Marino is doing art. Tom Derenick is doing art. And Zermanico is doing art. So there are some different styles here, but it all works. It all looks good. And, you know, again, next tier guys. Like, let's see where this story is going and tell us that it's something major and fun, because I think it deserves to be. So
Great. Alrighty. Also from Scout Comics, something else I enjoyed. Steak, like the Stabby thing. All right, so we got Byrne, Fantini, and Rodriguez are the creators on it. David Byrne, writer, Francesca Fantini, artist. Letter and production is Joel Rodriguez, and then cover art is Nate Artus. All right, so this takes place in a world where vampires exist.
stellar.
Everybody-
That looks beautiful.
Oh yeah. Everybody knows they exist. It's not like a secret. There's no like masquerade or any crap like that. And in this particular story, there's a relatively new vampire. Like he was a human just recently, and she is caught up in a murder mystery about vampires getting murdered. It's really, really cool. It's like this detective noir-y, but it's modern, and it is so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one I can't wait till it comes out in trade, because it's up to issue 5. But yeah, the color choices in it.
Yeah, it's like predominantly black and white, but with color accents throughout, and they are brilliant.
Yeah, that splash in, with the eyes that make. It's really, really cool. And
hot diggity damn.
Yeah, it's got twists. It's got turns. It's like the kind of crime thing that you would see on a Netflix series or an HBO series.
Yep.
And with that, just a little bit of the paranormal. And yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, I was sold.
Yeah,
amazing,
that's awesome.
amazing story.
That is awesome. Wow, that looks good. That looks really good. All right, so I took on Teen Titans Academy number 5. Tim Sheridan, Steve Lieber. Shout out to Steve. And this one, okay, so I haven't been reading this at all. So, again, I like to just pick up books sometimes just to see what the jump one is. Not waiting for jumping on points, but can you just pick up an issue and just go?
Yep.
And yes, you can. Obviously, Red X being on the cover, revealing themselves, I was like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
I want to see. What I love is we're getting an origin story for Chupacabra. The idea of what is affectionately called the Bat Pack and how they became a team. And it is so wonderful the way that this plays out. As far as single issues, you just want to read something interesting goes, this is really well done. The setup here, post this entire, semester, we'll call it, at the Teen Titans Academy, it's got to be something amazing, because the way this ends is so... Oh man, it's such a great ending, right? Like, clearly based on the cover, there's the idea that the identity's been revealed. Not to us, but to characters within. Yeah. And it sets the stakes at something far greater, so that whenever the next semester starts, we're going to see something really challenging happening.
Nice.
And, I mean, if you're jonesing for a Young Justice fix, if the last season didn't do it for you, this immediately gives me those vibes of, like, season 2, which I think was the dopest. Like, maybe that's just me, but yeah, that was the dopest. So yeah, if you like that, if you like Young Justice season 2, read that. It's so good. So good. Shout out, guys. All right, so when it comes to the acrylics, we have 2 that are the same.
We have 2 that are the same.
One that's totally different.
Yes.
Would you tell me about Strange Adventures, please? I've jumped off of this title. Now I'm on the trade train. So
it's been a minute. Like, this is issue 11 of 12. DC Black Label. All right, so we got Tom King, Mitch Gerards, and Evan Shaner, the main creators on this. So what it's been is like this mystery where Adam Strange is kind of like a war hero. He's been in space. He's saved planets. He defeated the evil picked creatures. But it's come to some people's attention that maybe he's not as squeaky clean as he makes us believe, and that the story of his daughter's passing is a lie.
Okay.
And a big chunk of this story has been spent with basically... All right, so Alana, Adam Strange's wife, is a formidable person.
Yes.
She is one of the rulers of her people. She's playing chess while everybody else is playing tic-tac-toe.
Yep.
And for a giant chunk of this, I thought maybe she knew more than she did.
Okay.
We're finding out otherwise.
Ooh.
And we're finding out the real story about her and Adam's daughter. And wow. Like, this was the issue that was the plot twist.
Ooh.
But the problem is it's issue 11.
Right.
So, like, jumping on issue 11,
Not recommended.
Not recommended.
Not recommended.
So, but I keep an eye out for that trade.
Okay.
For when those trades come out, This
That's
story
gonna be a jam.
I recommend.
Okay.
It gets a little bit slow in points, but it is ratcheted up to 1,000 with this issue. And yeah, really, really good.
Okay. I mean, creative team wise, like if you read Mr. Miracle, you know what they can do.
Yeah.
So definitely, like, lean into this. Like, you know what? I don't think I'll be waiting for the soft cover. I'm gonna get the hardcover.
Yeah, the hardcover's gonna be worth it. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yes. All right. So I took on Superman Action Comics 1033. We've got Philip Kennedy Johnson and on art, and this one. Let me make sure I get this right because it's got a backup story, and I don't want to talk about the backup story. Where are you? Credits page. They keep moving the credits page. I can't stand it. I don't know where it is.
Dang it, DC.
Right. Stop moving it. Daniel Sampier. So, Daniel, I'm a new fan. Definitely. Loving this one. Okay, so what we know is that some Kryptonian-esque type people came to Earth from Warworld. This is a couple issues back, trying to find out what's going on. Two of them have seemingly been comatose. One of them is alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic, trying to figure out what's going on. We find out why they're supposed to be here, and it ain't nothing nice. However, there is this growing piece where in the ship, there is an artifact or some sort of power source that comes from Warworld that is in the possession of the Atlanteans.
Ooh.
And they're not playing nicely with the rest of the world about it. Everybody else is like, well, you shouldn't have this, so we should have this. And the Atlanteans are like, no, surface dwellers, I think not. What's amazing is, Phil, dude, I love you. Okay, like I can't even express the level of proud that I am of having just recently been introduced to you and seeing your star just like, and you are doing this so very well. His understanding of Superman is so on point. When Superman speaks, everyone listens, and it is for the greatest reasons. Like, he's Superman.
Yeah,
and it's been so long since that reverence was on the page. Man, we see it here, and it's so cool where he's like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And some people are like, well, I don't want it. And he's like, this is what we are doing. Yeah. And they're like,
okay,
all right, fine. So, I mean, I'm just saying to them. And he's like, yeah, I get it, but no. And they're like, okay, Soups, you and your big red cape. Like, it's just, it's so amazing to see that, people respond to him as they should. It's Superman. Like, I talk back to Superman. Like, I dare you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm 40 years old. I won't talk back to my parents. How do you talk back to the guy that would hear it on the other side of the earth? Oh, my God.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, I enjoyed this a lot.
Oh.
Like, it's interesting. It's all the best parts of what I think Bendis was trying to do, but still with the majesty that is the character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like it.
I'm going to say we segue into that.
Do it, yes.
All right, Superman, Son of Kal-El, #1.
Yes. Tom Taylor, John Timms, I definitely like this art as well. Gabe Eltiab, maybe Eltiab, is colorist. Dave Sharp on letters. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Have you read a book from Tom Taylor that you didn't like?
Can't say that I have.
I can't either.
Like, literally, I can. Now I kind of want to.
Right.
I have to find out, does this unicorn exist?
Tom Taylor, send us your trash, okay? What's the book that you would say, please don't read this and let us read it? And we won't spoil it. We won't tell anybody because we don't do that. But we just want to know what it is. Every time I've seen you swing, it's been knocked out of the park.
Yeah.
Okay. So this story, we're getting John.
Yeah.
As Superman.
A young adult. Maybe a late teenager.
And there's a thing. I'm going to tell you the moment that he had me. This spread right here.
Right?
This is early on. If you're a longtime Superman fan, you know the moniker, right? You know the build-up. Faster than, more powerful, able to leap. This is literally the Superman of the future.
Yeah.
And the way that this is broken down, I'm not saying that is
right.
It right there made me want to cry because you get what the S is supposed to do.
Yeah.
You get it without question. Yeah,
it's just Tom Taylor understands the concept of Superman, the full meaning of being Big Blue.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, yeah, this is every time DC has tried to do like, I don't know, like a story where it's like, here's the future of the heroes, and people have pushed back, like, oh, well, I like my heroes the other way. This is perfect. This is that future story that when they were kicking around doing the 5th generation or whatever. This is perfect. This is exactly what it should be.
Exactly.
Because John is John. He's different than his dad.
Yes.
But he he learned from his dad. He learned from his dad's friends, and the way he handles that situation,
so perfect. Because it's every bit. It's okay. So here's the thing that I think is so interesting about it. It's every bit as much his dad as it is his mom.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I would definitely see Superman getting to that point, but the way that it was done, that's Lois.
Yeah.
Lois would have pushed it to be this, and this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy, but I may like John more than I like Clark. The level of storytelling here, this is it, man. In the age post Invincible, right? This might be my next favorite of that archetype. The son of the world savior, who has to make a name for himself. Right there.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of this because, again, this is like a lane that DC has stayed away from. Superboy has never stepped into that realm like that.
No, he is stepped there. He is the man at this point. And the person that he's got as his partner, best friend or whatever.
So perfect.
Yeah. It's
so perfect.
Because he's going to hold him accountable.
Every time. And I love that he's like, you're my person.
Yeah.
You are my bestie. Okay? Am I right? Am I wrong? And I love there's that little line in there about ninjas, and that just I giggled. Okay,
right?
I giggled. You made me giggle. I'm a grown man. I don't giggle. I'm a thug. You made me giggle.
Yeah, it was actually really funny.
It was funny. I loved it. Speaking of really funny and kind of amazing, and
definitely not for kids.
Oh my God, Gods of Brutality #1, Black Caravan. This is an imprint from Scout. Scout's killing it. Scout is killing it. For us to only have, Scout books and DC books. Yeah. Scout
had some great stuff this week.
Has some great stuff, yo. Like this right here is why don't sleep on non-Big 2 books.
Yeah. Don't complain about non-Big 2 books.
Try some stuff.
Yeah, because if you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling it anymore. Cool. There are some other options out there.
Plenty.
That are amazing.
Plenty. Okay. Rich Woodall, Mark Welser. This logo is so badass.
Right?
I love it. Okay.
God. All right.
Can we talk? Okay, the premise is...
I think we need to say the premise.
Yeah,
I don't think that gives away anything.
No.
So, this dude who's been, like, the lead singer of the Gods of Brutality, this, like, epic metal band, think Judas Priest, think Man of War, think Ronnie James Dio.
Yes.
And he has come to a place where it is time for him to retire. He has done everything that he said he's going to do.
Yep.
And he's giving his final interview to really explain the truth behind the story that he's had. And it is the story that apparently he died.
Yeah.
He went to hell.
Right.
And he was able to fight his way out of hell with Hercules and Thor.
Yes. This is this album needs to exist.
Yeah, there has to be.
Okay, you made a reference to Tenacious D.
Yeah.
That's the sound.
Yeah.
Just ratchet it up to freaking 21. Not even 11, 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thor and Hercules are amazing in their depiction here. If you're a fan of Marvel Comics, this isn't far from that. It's just a version. Right? Like
it's a Grant Morrison-y.
Oh, very well said. Very well said.
Kind of a Mark Millar humorous
yes.
kind of iteration.
Yes. It's absolutely amazing. Their consideration of such. There's the idea of blending two pantheons, recognizing that neither one is necessarily bigger than the other, greater than the other.
Yeah.
They just exist, and maybe there's some personal motivations for their inclusion here. Maybe there's something that they think they deserve or warrant by helping.
There are some laugh out loud lines.
Absolutely.
In this, like
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about how Mark. What I'm guessing is Mark is the penciler and inker. Mark is from the school of oh god, I just lost his name. Eric Larson.
Yeah, it's very Eric Larson.
Super Larson, in the best way possible.
Think of Larson maybe more near the end of his run on Spider-Man.
Like
that kind of vibe.
Definitely. And I say Larson first because stylistically I think it's there, but Larson always struck me as a child of Walt Simonson.
Yeah.
So like that, it all just kind of flows together in this perfect, pitch of crazy, over the top, amazing comics.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be some high schooler, early college kids' favorite book.
Yeah.
And well worth it. But I do need you guys to find a band of some sort to make some of these songs.
Yeah.
I need it. Like without question, I need it.
It's got an activity book in the back.
Yes! Like, oh my god. And did you solve the album? Did you?
No.
Oh, I totally did. And that's a name. That's definitely a name. Okay, so here's something, from a creative standpoint that they did that I think this is genius. Okay, when it comes to non-Marvel and DC books, there's always the question of, will it survive long enough for other issues?
Yeah.
They have, in the back of this book, the covers of issue 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So that's letting you know, like, this is on the way. Like, they have done the work. All you have to do is read it, love it, buy more of it. Like, make this happen. Wait, so what does it say? Check out some of the... Oh my god, I was wrong. It totally is here. I didn't even see that.
Okay, Open QR code.
And it's on Spotify. Awesome. Guess what I'm listening to on the way home?
Oh my gosh, the playlist.
Whole playlist. It's got a whole playlist.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Look. Dio is on here. Give it to me. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
You guys just made me so happy. So happy. Okay. This is comic making of the future, people. It's not just about books, okay?
It's the entire experience.
Whole thing. That's
Murder Falcon, Metal Shark Bro. You have a little brother.
I'm so happy. I love it. Okay, so obviously we hope that you guys enjoyed this semi-truncated. I will put that up there, but I'm buying this book. Sorry, okay? Find it on the internet. Okay, this is mine. This is my copy. Okay, I'm calling it. No, you guys get to see it. I'm still buying it though. Yeah. Like, wait, get in your home. Stop fighting me. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that thumbs up because we need that validation in our lives.
And every week, if you enjoyed it, every week we do this, even when there's only like 12 books to choose from. Hit subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the bell, and it will let you know when we've released our next bit of awesomeness.
Because we always try to do so before you hit the comic shop. So we're telling you some of the great things that you can read up front.
Yeah, before you read them.
Yeah. And you always have the opportunity to tell us, what did you read?
Yeah.
Comment below. Tell us what you read that we might have missed so that we know better the next time. Because we're always open for that. And obviously, follow us on social media. I'm at Vantage In-House.
At IrishRye39.
Come on, tell us things. Talk to us. We want to talk to you. No. I want to talk to you. I want to see how you're doing. Yeah. What's up? Shh, no, don't even worry about it. It's just me and you right now. Really? I like that. I like that a lot. Sheesh.